I've gotten the heads up from engineering that we're ready, so it's time for me to adjust my mic upwards. And talk very quietly. And welcome everybody to QYIT Radio time. Where today, we're going to take some call-ins. Our first call-in is going to be Matt. Hello, Matt. What burning wisdom do you wish to dispense on the listeners of QYIT Radio?
I personally, as a local herd owner, think that you should invest in some Sonnen or some Oberhasli. But if you can't get your hands on them, perhaps a La Mancha or just a couple pygmies. Don't go for Kiko, though. Their horns tend to gore children's eyes out, so you're going to have to keep them on a short leash.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Could you clarify if you are speaking about indica or sativa strains?
My herd consumes both. It really helps them chill out in the afternoon sun.
Yes, hybrid. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, many of our listeners do count sheep while they listen in to help them off to sleep. Are you perhaps suggesting something else they might count?
Well, you can always count on sheep, just like how I personally, as a local herd owner, can count on another local herd owner of mine, Jacob. He has so many good sheep, Jacob's sheep. He's so reliable and dependable, you know. But like, if that's not the strain for you, I would go for some Nigerian dwarfs, you know, or some boars. Just get those goats, rent them out from me. Please give me money. It costs so much to feed all of these goats.
Matt, I do have to stop you there. We do have your ad running later in the show. During our ad break, we would ask that you not solicit our customers, our listeners.
Yeah, we do. I do want to remind you, though, if you do have some cool new stuff coming in, you can come into our commercial show on Saturday that I run called Plugs and Drugs. And I think that'll get your message out to those who want it.
Yeah, I have both of those things. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Our next caller is Emily. And she's calling in to talk to us about something.
Well, I just wanted to provide my best advice on how to remain calm. I suggest stabbing something 10,000 times.
Listener, do you have your radio on in the background? We're getting a bit of feedback on your line.
I think somehow that's not going out to chat,
but
just to
great.
us.
Oh, fantastic.
You can remain calm no matter what if you just keep stabbing.
Oh, excellent. Do you have any recommended things to stab? Is there any medium that you prefer to stab in?
I recommend yarn. And if that is not available, embroidery.
Excellent.
Smaller yarns, excellent.
Miniature knitting, as it's often called.
What if you felt yourself drawn to a more three-dimensional medium? What about something that maybe you could... Maybe I'm going to bail out of that joke.
Macrame is a legit art form, Kathleen.
This is the most expert stabbist I know.
Oh.
It has 20 needles built in.
Excellent.
And she can use all of them.
They're spring-loaded.
So
truly
talented.
wonderful.
So talented.
Nature is amazing.
So I have a question for you. Is the beautiful sweater you're wearing related to your stabbing skills?
Yes, I stabbed the yarn many, many times to create this sweater.
Oh my
Amazing.
gosh. You are one of the most accomplished yarn stabbers I know. Beautiful to see your artwork on display. Such
Truly a
consistent
gift.
stabbing.
It's what happens when you do it over and over and over again.
Oh.
It's
Is there
like
any
they
word?
say, stabbing makes perfect.
Oh, thank you, Emily. Emily, too modest to mention that she's the Canadian Stabbist of the Year as well. But thank you so much. Our next guest, it looks like we have TQ, who has popped into screen and looks like she's got some wonderful things to tell us about.
Oh, hello. It's so lovely to be here.
Oh, lovely to see you, TQ.
I've always wanted to be a part of Quiet Time Radio. It's been a dream of mine ever since living in the fields of worry.
Yes. There's so much to worry about in this world, but it's always nice just to bring things down a little bit and have a nice, quiet conversation.
It really does. It really does.
Do you have any advice for the listeners at home who wish to relax and calm down when they're stressed out?
Well, I may not have the best advice for you, but I will let you know that your worries go to a good place. Your worries end up in my garden, and they feed the flowers that create fairy dust to help young children fall asleep at night and have sweet dreams. So while you cannot always escape your worries, they help others. So feel your feelings and know that they too shall pass.
That's very beautiful.
That's so lovely.
This is not part of the bit, TQ. That was wonderful, and I would like to remember it. I plan to try and keep that in mind.
That's cool.
You keep been particularly naughty.
Oh, I hear that can happen, but those are the gnomes. They come into the garden and steal the worries before they've been put onto the flowers. So watch those garden gnomes.
Never trust a gnome.
Don't trust the gnomes.
Oh, such wise advice here on QYIT Public Radio. Our next caller is Tim. Tim, hello. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. I'm very happy to be here today with y'all.
Thank you for coming in, Tim.
Yeah. I actually was calling in with a question.
Absolutely.
I feel I have been in a bit of a culinary rut lately, and I'm looking for some new recommendations of if there are any wonderful restaurants or dishes to try.
I always find most soothing are any carb-based things. A good mac and cheese really calms and soothes the soul. It's good comfort food, something warm and filling. If you want to get outside of your comfort zone, you could try a little bit of spice. There are plenty of great Caribbean foods. Is a really great one.
I've heard something. I've heard that the carb of the week. There's been a number of recommendations for. I think it's called SpaghettiOs.
Yes.
Would you recommend that?
Oh. If you need a food that can scream, I really recommend SpaghettiOs. You can spell out as long as a scream as you want with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've really been in the zone for soup type items lately, so I think that SpaghettiOs, with all of their screaming power, are a wonderful choice.
I know we tend to be very quiet on this show, but sometimes, as our friend Steve often reminds us, it's important to let out a good scream to release some of that pent-up energy.
Ah.
No. Oh.
Oh.
There we
Okay.
are.
I get it.
Excellent. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
calling in, Tim. I hope those food recommendations bring your. Well, at least I hope you eat them.
Mhm.
I will definitely give it a try. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
And
All
to
right.
all our listeners who were frightened by our loud screaming, we do apologize. We will try and keep the show at a nice, easy level. We're so sorry.
Sometimes we just get a little wild and wacky here on Quiet Time Radio, out of control.
You never know what we're gonna do next. We're just that spontaneous.
So spontaneous.
Indeed.
Speaking of spontaneous, the next person who's been waiting patiently to call in is Boomer, who is dressed in a Cthulhu mask. Hello,
Yes,
Boomer.
the elder one.
Hello. Can you all hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Excellent. It's very difficult to connect through to your realm with a two-way connection from my own realms of chaos. I just wanted to let you know that I have been a dedicated listener to your show since before you started it, and due to the temporal distortions, I have actually listened to all of your show that you will ever record, and I would like to say that all of your content is just so valued over here. Most of the contact we get from your realm is people making demands of us, people sacrificing things to us. I'm actually rather pleased to just have something calm. There's a lot of screaming.
I'm glad we could be of help, and thank you so much for your kind words about our past and future content.
Wow. I'm excellent that we'll never have a shark jumping moment. What glad tidings you've brought us. Thank you.
Shark jumping. This is a term from your realm that I've heard referenced before. It's a bit confusing for us here. We don't have sharks, but we do have something similar, and you don't jump it, you run from it.
Yes.
I don't think you ever flee in terror from any massive predators in my recall of your lovely calming show.
Well, not since we stopped doing the episodes. What's the beach from Jaws?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Fail.
Immersion
Jaws
ruined.
Beach.
Jaws Beach.
Jaws Beach.
Not since we stopped doing those beach shows.
Thank you so much for coming in, Boomer. It's always a delight to learn about places that other people live in strange realms that we have not visited and probably should never visit.
You should never visit here. I have provided this lovely bland green backdrop in order to blend in. If you were actually able to see my environment, you would most likely be severely harmed by the knowledge.
As it is, I do plan to finish our shift with a large bowl of SpaghettiOs to represent my absolute terror at your visage.
I will appreciate this tribute.
Oh. You know what? That call was all about good news. We're still going to keep putting out good content, and the QYIT radio antenna reaches far more than I thought it did. So that's good to hear.
Our technician put in a lot of great work on that antenna.
Yeah. Great job, Joe. Thank you very much. All right. Our next caller is Jacob. Hello, Jacob. You're live on the air.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very good to meet you. It's Jacob here from Jacob Sheep.
Jacob, how are your sheep these days?
Well, I think they're pretty great.
Oh,
But you
that's
have to
fantastic.
remember, I'm very possessive of my sheep. I'm not shearing these sheep. You get your own.
Oh, well, that's perfectly fine. I don't have much use for sheep myself, but I'm glad that they're of use to you. Tell me, is there any advice that you would give for people who are looking to get into shepherding these days?
Don't. It's ruined me and my family. Don't.
Oh, is there perhaps an alternative career path you're looking into? What's next on the horizon for Jacob of Jacob Sheeps?
Well, I mean, I thought for a little while I would maybe try and become a lumberjack. But I can't sing, so I stopped.
It's a tough business to break into.
I just couldn't hack it.
Yes.
I tried, but they gave me the axe. Which I thought is what I wanted, but it's not.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Jacob.
Aye, me too. I thank you for listening, though.
Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you.
And
Into
thank all
every
you out
life.
there listening to our show. Thank all our listeners for listening.
Yes, absolutely. In every life, a few teardrops must fall so we can appreciate the sun parting the clouds a little bit more. Is the kind of thing they put on inspirational quotes with rainbows on them.
True, and like 4 different fonts.
Yeah.
One of them is papyrus.
Yes.
Our break room has a lot of those.
It's very soothing.
It is. All right. Speaking of being soothed, now we have a very calm-looking person who's been waiting to call in. And I'm excited to talk to Andrew. Hello.
Hi,
Welcome
Andrew.
to QYIT.
Hello, Quiet Time. I am a huge fan.
Hi,
Happy
Andrew.
to be here.
We're certainly happy to have you. It was, the hippie man?
Correct.
Yes. Such a pleasure to have you on the show, Mr. Hippie Man.
Thank you very much for supporting Collins. I find your show very relaxing.
Oh, thank you so much. We're a big fan of just chilling out and letting the gentle energy wash over you. Do you like being calm and just quietly appreciating things, Mr. Hippie?
Absolutely. However, it is very difficult for me to obtain horse tranquilizers so that I am able to do that.
Oh.
I understand there's been quite the infestation of horses here in our small town, and that you may have a hard time getting your hands on those because they are in such high demand.
They are sold out everywhere.
Of course.
Do you, Hippie Man, have any tips for our listeners who are looking to relax a little bit more? Perhaps take their mind off their growing horse infestation.
Absolutely. When horse tranquilizers are sold out, you can find your own ways to become calm by listening to Quiet Time or by going so far in the other direction that it is too loud to make anything out, and you have only the quiet of the void.
Yes,
Ah.
truly.
The event horizon of decibels.
Indeed, it is very difficult to obtain, but with the correct music, lighting, recreational drugs, and wild outfits, it is in fact somewhat achievable.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Could you perhaps demonstrate this for us?
Yes, I should be able to. Is there some sort of, perhaps, music that you could provide to help me achieve the balance of the void?
I believe there is. I have this button here on my dashboard that I could press, if that would be all right with my co-host. I don't want to assume.
Yes.
Certainly.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I think the show is already flying off the rails. It's so wacky already.
It's been a wild day. There's there a full moon out.
Yes, let's take it up to the extreme.
All right, let's go.